back to my channel. In this video, I want to share with you guys my current witchy favorites. These are things that I'm using right now in my witchy path, things that I'm studying, and also just things that have helped me in my journey, and I hope they can help you as well. So without further ado, let's start off with the ultimate guide to the tarot. You guys are probably wondering, like, shouldn't you already know the tarot? Like, what's going on? So for me, I was always interested in other forms of divination like the runes, the I Ching, and the Ogham, and also geomancy. So when I started off with those, I wanted to learn as much as I could about those. And I was just like, yeah, everybody knows the tarot. I want to try something new. And so I decided to study those first. But then I started thinking about tarot and how else I can use it other than divination. Because I'm not an intuitive, so I don't intuitively divine things. I kind of just read what I know. And so when I look at the tarot, I think about the symbols and the symbolism on the cards and how those can be used in different ways. So my interest in the tarot is using them for manifestation rather than divination. While I'll also be studying the divination forms as well because, you know, it's important to know every aspect of the cards, I'm more interested in learning the symbolism behind the cards and actually using that in order to manifest things. And this book is really great for that because it gives you a huge description of the symbols itself within the card and everything that goes into it. While it doesn't tell you absolutely everything, I have had to cross-reference and really figure things out for myself too, because there are hidden things within the cards that you don't really notice at first glance. So I've seen something and I've said, hey, this book doesn't mention this at all. Let me see what this means in another sense, or the fact that I've been studying symbols for a while, so I do know some of these things as well in different contexts that this book and other books may not have mentioned about the tarot. So that's the most important thing for me, is understanding that. And also I've been studying the Qabalah, so understanding where these cards go within the 22 paths or the 32 paths within the Qabalah. So it's important for me to know that as well and understand the magical correspondences within the Qabalah as well. So this book does mention that as well, but it doesn't go in depth. So I have had to go on to other books in order to learn that as well. So if you're interested in learning more about the tarot, its symbolism, and how it coincides with the Qabalah and the Tree of Life, then definitely check out this book. And I'll put a link in the description box below for this book and other books that can help correspond with Qabalah as well. So this book is really great, and it's just so beautiful and so vivid, and I'm just like madly in love with it. I will be getting more tarot books soon once I get more in tune with the Rider-Waite Tarot, but I'm in love with the symbolism with the Rider-Waite Tarot, and I love this book because of how vivid it is and how, like, you don't necessarily need the card in order to understand and correspond to this book, because it shows you a bright, vivid look of the card and tells you all of the symbolism, which is what I love. So speaking of the Rider-Waite Tarot, I actually got my first and only tarot deck. Again, I was interested in learning about the symbolism of the tarot deck as well as how to manifest things with each of the tarot cards, or with the tarot cards that I'm interested in using for manifestation. And just like, I love how vivid and bright these cards are and just the deep, rich symbolism within each of them. I see other tarot decks and I just say to myself, man, but the Rider-Waite Tarot just like has all of this deep hidden symbolism within it, and I'm just so fascinated with it. So I'd rather just like start off with the traditional decks and then go on to like other decks that may be cool, but you know, they just don't have the rich symbolism that the Rider-Waite has. So personally for me, like, this is the deck to have if it's like your first deck or whatever, because I am a symbol freak and I just want to understand each of the symbols and how they correlate to so many different things. So I don't know. I love the Rider-Waite Tarot. I think it's beautiful. So speaking of other card decks, I'm a symbol freak, as you guys know, and I saw this card deck and I wanted to get a new set of cards for my geomantic readings, because some of you guys know, like, I do geomancy as well, and I use regular playing cards in order to divine things with geomancy, because geomancy is a binary codex, and you use the red cards and the black cards in order to figure out each of the dots in the geomantic symbols. I will be making a video about geomancy soon. I made one a while back, but I ended up taking it it down because I want to have a more in-depth video for you guys that really helps to explain geomancy to you. So this deck is really cool because it's a regular deck of cards, but it has like hidden symbols within like the back of it, which is really cool. And it has, I don't know, I'm a symbol freak, so anything that has to do with like symbols or just like hidden societies is just like really fun to me. So it has this one card that like tells you about like why they created this deck. And it's just like, let bicycle playing cards be your guide to the world of mysterious symbols. These playing cards feature designs inspired by societies that use various signs and passwords to safeguard their best kept secrets. While deeper investigation by truth seekers have had the symbols more recognizable to most, their secrets remain hidden. And it's just like, I love this. Like, secret societies, I'm obsessed with like learning about secret hidden truths and things, and it's just like really fun to me. I love this deck, and of course it's a regular deck of cards when you like open it up. It's just like, you know, it has the hidden symbols within the back of it, which is something that I love. So I would probably be doing a couple of videos on like geomantic readings for you guys, maybe even doing a reading of my own for the year. I've kind of been holding off because I'm just like, after what I did last year, like doing my geomantic reading for the year and everything basically coming true with the pandemic and all this stuff, I'm a little scared to know exactly what's gonna happen this year. So I've kind of been holding it off, but stay tuned, I'll probably make that video for you guys soon. But I'll be using this deck as well because it's just really fun and great. Okay, so moving on to another book, I have Celtic Tree Magic. And I love the look and feel of this book. It feels so amazing. And I've been learning the Ogham for a while, for about a year or two, and I wanted to have a book that corresponds with the other books that I have, just to make sure that everything just made sense. And I like this book because it has the Celtic tree correspondences, as well as the tree Ogham, word Ogham as well, and a little bit of a different description of those, which is what I like, because sometimes things differ depending on like who's looking at them. So it's important to know like different aspects of symbols. It also has the tree Ogham and the trees in general and how they correspond to other myths and other cultures, which is really interesting to me. The only thing about this book that I don't necessarily like is the fact that he kind of meshes all the lore together. Instead of specifically focusing on the Celtic myths, he puts it all together, which I'd rather have like a separate section that says Celtic myth, how this tree corresponds to the Celtic Ogham, and then having like a second box that maybe says like, okay, this is the Ogham, okay, this is what it means in other myths. So it kind of peeves me because I just want to learn specifically right now how the tree Ogham corresponds to Celtic tree mysteries, not necessarily how it corresponds to other lore. It's cool that he has that. I would prefer that he had it in a different section so I could learn it differently later on, because right now everything's mended together and I want to know what it meant to the Celtic Druids and the Celtic peoples at that time that the Ogham was being used. So I think it's cool that he has like every other myth and everything combined, but I wish he had it in a different section. But yeah, I do still really like this book, and it's helping me a lot in understanding the Celtic tree Ogham even more, because Celtic Ogham has been really difficult for me to learn, mostly because Gaelic is really difficult to understand, but this book is helping me understand it a little bit more and corresponds a lot with other things that I've learned about the Ogham, and it's just been helping me a lot. So if you guys are interested in learning about Celtic Ogham, I think this book will help you a lot. So I've been obsessed with using bells in order to clear the space in my room and in my apartment, just because there's a lot of negative energy that just lingers around and I need to disperse that energy. So I'll use this bell. It just sounds so nice and calming, and I'll just use it around my room in order to dispel any negative energy that might be sitting in my room. I kind of think of like using bells and sounds in order to like get rid of negative energy, kind of like the way that you hear like a police siren coming towards you. And if you're like a negative person, a negative influence, someone that's breaking the law or whatever, you hear that sound and you're like, I gotta get away, I gotta move, I gotta go somewhere. And that's kind of like how it is in my mind. All of the negative energy that's surrounding me, like once I start ringing the bell, I just kind of imagine it like going away with the sound and moving away with the sound, which is really interesting. So in my mind, that's how it kind of works, and it just feels really good after I'm done. Like, it just kind of rings in my ears, and just like my entire body kind of starts vibrating, and I'm just like, I'm getting rid of all of that negative energy around me, and it feels really, really good. So I just did a mini haul in a witchy shop around my neighborhood, and it felt really good to just get all this stuff in order to like get rid of negative energy in my house. And I got this black tourmaline, which I got 2 of them. I like getting 2 crystals at once just so I can hold them in both of my hands. But whenever I feel like I'm just like in a negative vibration or just like something's bothering me, even right now, like I can feel the energy flowing throughout my body, and like I can feel it just like kind of flowing and getting rid of that negative energy. And it just feels really good to hold black tourmaline in my hand and just like kind of just close my eyes and just think of like better things and think about things that are just like helping me rather than just like pulling me down or sucking away my energy in general. But man, it just feels so good. Like I'm starting to feel so calm while like just holding these right now. And yeah, black tourmaline has been helping me so much with any negative energy that's been like lingering in my body, or just like when I'm just annoyed with something. It just feels so good. And with that said, I also have these 2 rose quartz crystals, which I've been loving so much because I have a really difficult time sometimes just loving myself in general. I'm really hard on myself. I kind of like put myself down sometimes, and just like putting these in my hands and holding them when I'm feeling just like negative about myself, it's just like, what are you talking about? You're great. You feel great. You're awesome. Like you're doing it. You're doing so well. And it just feels so good to be holding these in my hand as well. So when I'm done with all of that negative BS and I'm just like, I'm done, I don't want to feel that way about myself. I want to love myself for who I am, and just, you know, even love other people, even though like, you know, sometimes they annoy me or sometimes they piss me off or something. And it's all about unconditional love and self-love and healing. And these have been helping me out so much in just like my current personal journey right now. And I'm just like, again, like having these 2 in my hands, not just one, just both of them in like my negative and positive aspects of my, I don't know, my energy centers. It just feels so good. Like, just need to give myself a moment because I can just feel it like flowing in my body. Yeah, these are like 2 of the crystals that I have. I have a lot of others, but these are 2 that I feel the most. Maybe because I charge them the most, but they just feel, I can feel it immediately when I hold them. And some other crystals, like I don't necessarily feel it immediately. I have to like give it a while or like really meditate and just like sit with them. But just right now, like I just feel it, and my emotions are just like, I just want to, it just feels really good. So if you guys don't have them already, rose quartz and black tourmaline, definitely 2 crystals that can help a lot and have been helping me a lot in my personal journey. And they're definitely 2 of my faves. I keep them next to my bed too, and I'll like interchange all of my crystals around my bed so that even when I'm sleeping, when I'm studying in my bed or something like that, like I can always have that energy flowing within me and getting rid of that negative energy or those negative thought processes or anything. And that's been helping me so much. Another thing I have is rosemary oil. So I've always liked rosemary in general because it helps you out with so many different things. Recently, I've been using it to grow out my hair, but when I started doing that, I just realized like, wait a second, I can use rosemary for other things too. Like even having it like on my scalp and just like rubbing it on my temples, it of course helps with your memory. So when I've been studying, I'm just like, oh wait, I'm retaining all of this knowledge. I'm remembering all of these things, and it's because of the rosemary, and it's been helping me out so much in that sense because I don't have the best memory in the world. It's one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel, so I could remember things even after I study them. So being able to have my rosemary oil and just like, wait a second, I'm remembering these things. Oh right, it's because I have the rosemary. And rosemary helps with so many other things. Like if you have dried rosemary, you can make a tea infusion, and that can help with your memory and other senses as well. And also if you have dried rosemary, you can use it to get rid of mares, which cause nightmares. You can sprinkle it around your bed, you can sprinkle it around your house to get rid of that like negative energy in terms of like any entities that are trying to harm you. It's also an herb of protection. So rosemary can be used for so many different things. And yeah, this rosemary oil has been helping me a lot with not only like, you know, growing out my hair, but also using it for retaining my memory when I study, because I've been studying pretty much for like 5 hours a day, almost every single day. And sometimes I get really bored and I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. Or like I'm literally looking at the page and I'm just like, dude, I can't remember any of this stuff anymore. But using this rosemary oil has been helping a lot. And also one thing for studying, which has helped me a lot too, is rewatching witchy TV shows that I've seen a million times. Like I'm rewatching Charmed right now, and I've seen it a million times, so I don't have to like pay attention to the screen because I already know what's gonna happen. But it's been helping me like be interested in studying witchcraft more. You know, like I'm studying something and I'm like, oh my god, I can be a crazy witch like them, or, you know, I can do fun stuff like them. Even though it's like fantasy, it just makes it more fun and more interesting to relearn things about the craft, or just like get more into studying in general. So yeah, rewatching witchy TV shows while you're studying, like, yes, one of the best things I've learned about myself that I need to do like more often, because it's been helping so much. And last but not least, I have my Sybil Apothecary candle, which was gifted to me by the owner of this company, and she's really cool, really nice, awesome witch. And I don't use this candle very often because it just smells so good, and it was a gift, and I don't want to get rid of it too fast because it's just like such an amazing smelling candle. And what's great about it is that like it was made by a witch, so you know it was made with her witchy love. And it's called Witch's Brew. She has a bunch of different like witchy names for her candles as well. And this is made with orange peel, apple, cranberry, cinnamon, clove, and wood. And it just smells so incredible. I use it maybe for like 10 minutes if I will use it, because I just want to be able to like enjoy the candle for as long as I can. And even when I like open it, because I put a top over it when I'm not using it, whenever I open it, it's still like, the smell of it still like goes around in my room because it's so potent. It smells so good. If you guys haven't heard of Sybil Apothecary, I'll definitely put a link in the description box below. But I just love celebrating and supporting my fellow witches. And yeah, Sybil Apothecary, great candles. It smells incredible, and like it's great because it has the witchy aesthetic too. It's like everything that you want in Witch's Brew. So I like putting it like next to my bed when I light the candle, and it just smells so good. It fills my room within minutes, and yeah, it's one of my favorite candles, and I just don't want to get rid of it. I don't want to use it too much. So yeah, those have been my current witchy favorites. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below what your current favorites are, because I'm always interested in learning what you guys enjoy, and I want to check them out for myself. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.